What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and this is the show where we hang out at the end of a long week, long after we should have gone to bed on a Saturday night, and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated that need painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die. So via 3D printing and purchasing and all kinds of other methods and manners, we are just trying to stave off death for as long as possible. And joining me on the line, my perennial painting partner, our resident monkey handler, Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm better as of today. It's been a long week. We'll get into that in just a minute. It's been a trying couple of weeks actually for us. Just a lot of things breaking, a lot of situations that needed taken care of. I'm glad to be back to painting. I'm just going to be honest with you.
That's good. I'm excited to be back because I know I had work one week and then something came up and I was going to be not home on Saturday evening last week.
And honestly, I was supposed to be in New York this week too, so it's kind of lucky that But but I'm here. We're here. Everything's wonderful and fine as much as it can be. So let's not waste any more time. As with all the shows that we host here on the channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone, and in being as inclusive as possible. So any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. My brother Marcel, he no tolerate the shenanigans. There you go, Blink. That's what you get tonight. That's where I'm at. I'm painting Helgar long plates. Is the dwarf?
Oh, that's that dwarf you got?
Yes, she has been languishing on my workstation ever since. And then I also have I have a couple of options for afters. I could continue working on the ridiculous quantity of chaos dwarfs that I've got sitting in front of me that just need to be finished. They're in various states of partially painted. But I've also got the Joker for Gotham City Chronicles, and I also have Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, for MCP. So I have options. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it, but let's get Helgar done first. Shenan once, then Shenan again. So I'm very fortunate. I found this really old picture of Queen Helgar, and it's very clear where different shades of different colors were used. So I'm quite appreciative to GW for keeping that around. Actually, it's not even them. It's Warhammer Fantasy Battles Lexicanum. But it is an old fantasy photo. So yeah, my week's been, or my last couple weeks have been interesting, to say the least. Our washing machine pooped the bed. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that last time we were painting.
Yeah. So the washing machine died, which, in the grand scheme of things, not that big a deal. We can go to the laundromat, we can go to my parents, whatever it is. We can work.
You can make
that.
do.
Yeah. Until we have enough money to replace that. Fine, whatever. Then as we're and I got new tires on my car, which was not.
I had that also.
Yeah. And no sooner had that sort of resolved, and we started, okay, we're about to get paid again. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's move on with our lives. The furnace died. Died.
Right before winter.
Right before, it gets real heckin' cold up here. And so not the biggest issue. We have a pellet stove that we honestly should be using more than we do. But what was an issue was the hot water, because our furnace was also responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
And giving my daughter a bath in cold water, not fun.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
So obviously we weren't going to do that. We'd just bring her to my parents, but it was not ideal. And the quote that we got to replace it was $12,000.
That's a lot of dollars.
It is a lot of dollars that we definitely don't have. So, fortunately, my parents sort of sorted that out for us. Like, they were like, well, we'll basically give you an interest-free loan. And we're like, well, that's, all kinds of shame and guilt associated with that. But, like, here we are, right? It's kind of the only option we have other than getting a predatory loan from a bank.
Mm-hmm.
That might be too bright. But yeah, so we're appreciative that my parents were able to do that for us. And so, needless to say, our furnace, we have a brand new furnace that is pretty dang cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Glad that all worked out.
Yeah, but it was a huge headache because time off of work and
yeah. I had that problem in the summer when my AC went out.
Yeah.
Kind of the opposite problem. It's right when it was like getting to be unbearably hot down here.
Yeah. So we were supposed to go up to New York to get Katie's tires switched over because her parents held on to the tires for us because we just didn't have the space for them. And that didn't end up happening. Katie's dad came down to help with, or like to sort of supervise the furnace install, which frankly was a good thing because we don't speak tradesmen, My brother does, my father-in-law does. My dad's dealt with enough of them that he thinks he does, but in reality he has no idea what he's talking about. So he just brought the tires with him.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. This is the first year I've ever put snow tires on a car. I was trained in New England. Like, we have snow whether we want it or not, and
yeah,
by and large, you gotta learn how to drive in the snow. And so my dad was always like, you don't need snow tires. What are you talking about? And I was like, okay, we live up a giant dirt hill, like. And then after a couple of winters of driving up, Dad was like, yeah, you need snow tires. But the stress of the week, coupled with a lot of it was my wife's week to work evenings. So I had to do a lot of solo dadding this week. Afforded me an opportunity to go with my friends to a little dirt mall Comic-Con at the high school that one of my buddies used to work at. And it was a lot of fun. It was like a bunch of old guys, like, just sitting around talking about comics. Nobody was really buying anything. Like, nobody was really wheeling and dealing. Like, they were just like, they were there to talk, and shoot the breeze. And it was like, these are my people. Like, maybe I'm just getting old, but these are my people. These are the people I want to associate with at a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And John bought like a couple of Marvel team-ups. That's what he's collecting because he can't certainly afford all of the original run of Amazing Spider-Man. And the guy goes, "Oh, I've got a number 1 back here." And John goes, "Well, I also have a number 1." And the guy goes, "Yeah, but is it in this good quality?" And John goes, Yeah, it is. It is, buddy. And the guy was like, "Oh." But it's that kind of reaction, like that kind of interaction that I'm looking for at this point in my career. I'm not looking for... I was telling John, like, I've got to do, like, one more big Comic-Con so I can get Kevin Smith to sign a couple of things. And then I'm probably just done with Comic-Cons for good. That aren't just dirt mall, like, bunch of guys in a bunch of long boxes.
Understandable.
So I ended up picking up a couple of... well, I should preface this by saying that I sold off like $120 worth of like Dungeons and Dragons books and stuff to get a little cash for the show. And I ended up picking up a couple of early Iron Fist issues that I'm pretty pleased with.
That's exciting.
Yeah. 2 of them were even Marvel Premiere, which is like his first series. He led Marvel Premiere for a while before he had his own series. And then we went to a couple of the retro game stores, but I didn't find anything interesting.
That's sad.
Well, it's not entirely unexpected. I'm kind of in that point in my collection. Like, I did pick up a copy of Donkey Kong for Game Boy. The classic arcade style. But that's like, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with my collection. Like, there's nothing that's really screaming at me to get, and what I'm looking for is kind of rare. So it's like, oh, if I see it, I'll grab it. But in other senses, I'm just kind of along for the ride. I just treat it as a museum trip, almost. I'm ready to be the big fish in the small pond. Maybe. Being
So
the
anything else?
biggest. Okay, that's what you said. Sorry, go ahead. I was curious about what RPD was writing.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, have you been doing anything else fun?
The arcade machine's coming along.
That's good.
Yeah, they strapped the TV into it last night or yesterday afternoon. And electrics next week. First wave of electrics. And the controller, like, we've been agonizing over the control system because we only have one of them, and we can only ever have one of them. It is the control board we bought is incredibly rare. It was like a prize for like a Street Fighter-esque tournament that was given out, and I managed to snag one on eBay, and I haven't found one since. So like, anytime we do anything with it, all of us are like, don't break it. And finally, the 2 builders of all people, like, they're not even part of the controls team. They were just like, why don't we just bolt it to the back of the cabinet in its original box? And I was like, or like in the box it came in, we're like, oh, that would have been smart. So Major breakthrough there. Very happy to not have to pull that apart and rebuild it. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet here. Days with the kid. Spending time with my wife. Like, playing video games when I can. I did finish Mario Wonder.
I really like that Mario Wonder. It's a lot of fun.
I'm still working through the like special worlds missions.
Mm-hmm.
Those are hard. Those are really hard.
Yeah,
Mostly
I like them a lot.
What?
I like them a lot. Like,
I do too.
They're like really challenging and fun.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely feels like I'm glad I waited until I had finished the rest of the game, because your skills that you acquire throughout playing the game really shine in Special World. But yeah, no, Mario Wonder's wonderful, and I almost wish it was longer. Like, I know it's the correct length for a Mario game, but there's a part of me that wishes it was a little bit longer. RPD says, I've finished my Christmas list for the year. Games-wise, I'm currently playing my Spooktober. Oh, Alan Wake. Alan Wake's good.
There's another really good game from the company that made Alan Wake that I really liked. I never played Alan Wake though. I think it was Alan Wake, but it's like this time travel like themed story. And it's really interesting. It takes up like all your memory on your Xbox or whatever, because like the game is played in like 5 acts.
Oh lordy.
But in between each act is like an hour-long episode of a TV show that was like all live action recorded.
FMV?
What?
Full motion video?
No. It's like they like produced an actual TV show with all of the voice actors. They did the motion capture as well.
Oh, dang.
And so like Lance Reddick is in it, and so Lance Reddick plays Lance Reddick's character in the like TV show aspect, and it has like Sean Ashmore and
love him.
Mary, what's his name?
From Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, Mary from like he's in it as well. And like Littlefinger from Game
Quantum
of Thrones
Break.
is in it.
It's called Quantum Break.
Yes, it's so good.
Thank you, RPD. RPD's our researcher out here.
But like it's absurdly good.
That's really cool. I'll have to check that out.
And also, I guess one of the things that's really neat in that is, as you play the game, you make choices that like will affect like the TV episodes, like how they play out.
So that's full motion video. That's FMV. Or I think RPD can attest to more to this than I can, but like, yeah, it's like what they did with Rebel Assault 2. But it's like more full motion video. It's like a higher depth to it, basically. Thank God, this paint is still good. So I started building a drawer for my extra paints. All this Citadel crap that's going to be under my desk. It just bolts to my desk. FMV is a complicated thing to litigate because what it means behind the scenes and what it means to us is too... Yeah, that's fair. And I'm hoping that I can get enough of my errant painting materials off my desk so that they're not just pervasive.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do want to, at some point, start broadcasting my game modding stuff, my retro mod stuff. I did a little tech test of it when I got my copy of Space Marine,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really enjoying how I'd set that up, so really hoping that pans out. It's amazing to me the differences in approach that I take when I know I'm working on a named character for fantasy versus when I'm just working on average Joe Nobody.
Yeah.
There's certainly similarities, obviously, but like the coloring anyway. But like Helgar, for example, I was like, I want her to stand out, so I used a slightly brighter green than most of the rest of the army.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's been so long since I've painted a dwarf for my actual army that most of the colors I used are discontinued. Thank you, GW, for
That's
loving
problematic.
your customers. I did finally start Final Fantasy VII Remaster.
Okay. How you liking it?
I love it. It's so good. It's been so long since I played any part of that game. And I don't remember any of the story. Like, I remember the characters vaguely.
Yeah.
But I do not remember the story. And I'm loving it. Like, it's slowly coming back to me in little chunks. I'm like, oh man, this was so much fun when I was a kid. And I keep thinking to myself, boy, this was on PlayStation 1? My God, ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Remedy being the studio there, RPD? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that's what I figured. I do like a company that appreciates a good lore drop. Ghost Song has been fantastic, by the way. The Metroidvania I've been playing. It's like Hollow Knight gets sort of regarded as this pinnacle of balance of beauty and gameplay and everything. I really like. I genuinely. Lots of people are going to crucify me for saying this, but like, I genuinely think that Ghost Song is a better experience. Now, granted, I haven't played all of Hollow Knight. Far from it, but I really like the balance in Ghost Song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Oh no, brown cow. Have I mentioned lately how much I hate Citadel paints?
Mm-hmm.
Simply cannot find the ones you're looking for when you want them.
So I did most of his uniform in the Gracier.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually my standard to start for white, and then I just work up from there.
Yeah, Gracier is pretty great. I like Gracier. There's a 2T combat equivalent of it called Frost. Is it Frosted Edge? It's Frosted Edge. Sometimes I'll go Ostrich Feather Gray, but yeah, it's Frosted Edge. Quite nice. There we go. Driftwood Brown. That'll work.
Man, this sculpt is just great.
You know, when AMG is firing on all cylinders, they are firing on all cylinders. But they've had quite a few stinkers too.
Yeah.
I keep begging C27 to do just some of the dumb, like, 60s Daredevil villains.
Mm-hmm. And Jack of Hearts.
Yeah. Right now I'm pushing for Crime Master and Mr. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, I do think I'm sort of regarded as a nuisance over there. but I'm not in that, like, I'm not active in that Discord enough for it to bother me.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I do get my way. And most recently, I got Gwen Stacy, like classic pose Gwen Stacy, or classic costume Death of Gwen Stacy, Gwen made. And that one did not win the voting, so I know that I have at least some favor with the sculptor over there.
So here's a thought for you.
Go on. Yeah,
So Gwen Stacy died,
she did.
but it was deliberately left ambiguous of whether Green Goblin had killed her first, or if the stopping her with the web snapped her and killed her that way.
Right.
Do you have a personal belief either way on what had happened?
I'm going to answer that with a question. Have you ever read The Giver?
The what?
The Giver.
No.
Okay. There's a similar controversy in that book. And I have always been of the opinion that it was the snapping of the neck that killed her. Because
But do
it's
you
a
think
more interesting
Goblin did it
plot.
first? Do you think Goblin did it first, or that it happened?
I think it
because
happened
of
because of the rescue attempt.
Okay.
Because, and the reason I say that is not that I wish anything negative on Spider-Man. Obviously, he's one of my favorite characters, but I just think it adds so much to his story for him to carry that on his conscience.
As opposed to how they did in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it was just not quite fast enough.
Yes.
And
Yeah, because didn't she hit? She impacted on the ground.
Yeah, it's the web caught her, but it stretched enough that she still hit the ground, and that the fall killed her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's much more interesting for Spider-Man to be responsible for that than the cop out that Green Goblin had already killed her. But I think that ambiguity is necessary, because then Spider-Man, eventually, you can heal trauma. But that ambiguity makes it much, much harder for him to heal. And then he ends up wrestling with it for the rest of his career. You can heal trauma, but Peter's also got a terminal addiction to reopening his own mental wounds. That's true. He does love to beat himself up. Self-flagellate, I believe, is the term. Mixing a little bit of resistance rust here. Yeah, right. So just before I forget, I don't know exactly what my schedule is for next week yet. We should be fine, but my sister and her family are in town, so for the first time in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what we'll be doing with them, if anything. Like the Shanti bone situation. That's fun. It actually is Ushabti bone. That's skull, cat stone. What's this? Blade one flesh. This Ushabti bone is padded. That's one skull.
I just peeked at like yeah, I don't have anything up, so like if you're still free, that's fine. If not,
Cool.
that's
Yeah.
also fine.
Yeah, we should be good. I think we'll be good. Can't imagine we wouldn't, but you've heard the stories. You know how strange my nieces are.
Mm-hmm.
In the most lovely way. There's part of me that wants Tegan to put her money where her mouth is and Killer Instinct on stream with me next week. But that would be a Friday thing, if anything. She's been trash talking me for almost a year now about Killer Instinct. Yeah. My hope is to get her here next week to do that, but we'll see. She's also working on her pilot's license, and like,
Ooh, that's fun.
yeah. So her ambition is to fly a plane to here next summer. We'll see if she actually pulls it off. Her like big thing is she wants to fly me and Alex to Gen Con.
Oh,
And I was like, where are you going to get a plane? And she's like, well, the ROTC lets me rent one once a month. So I was like, okay, where are you going to store a plane while you're not at home? Like,
rent a hangar at the Indianapolis airport.
yes, because that's, you know, the great, going to be affordable for a 17-year-old.
I don't like doing this often, but I'm doing it.
Go on.
Straight like matte black,
Oh, yeah.
because it's like you can't like wash or do anything to really like get depth or layering.
Right.
So it's like a lot more difficult to I mean, yeah, since you can't use a wash or anything, like it's a lot more difficult to really get
Any kind of, yeah, any kind of
Yeah.
feel to it. It's just,
but with Thrawn's like completely pristine.
yeah, I can't, like, I mean, there's a reason he is the way he is.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
there's an influence
Norm-
there.
normally I would just use like a really, really like dark gray and then be able to wash it.
Mhm,
But I'm like, no, I've got to go like the actual full-on black for Thrawn here.
RPT says, where are you going to store it? In their inventory, obviously. Look, man, she's not Link. Which sometimes I think she wishes she was. Speaking of RPD, did you have you heard some of the new Starbomb tracks that are leaking out or trickling out, I should say?
So did you see the X-Mansion Lego set that they announced at New York Comic Con?
My gods, I do not have that kind of money, but that is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of Starbomb. Alright, fair enough. I genuinely prefer Starbomb to NSP. Slightly. I just think it's a little more grounded. For a small brush here. Here we go. Fair enough. I think that probably comes from the Aaron of it all. Aaron tends to be a little more aggressive than Dan. Where Dan would prefer to stick to just like wacky. Like at some point it stops feeling like it comes out of love for a subject more. Yeah. No, I feel you there. I get it. That's actually solid criticism. Like that's...
So, like a week and a half ago or something, A friend of mine got in touch with me because he's been out of the country. And apparently, like, some visa issue or something came up, like they couldn't get it renewed in time, and so he ended up having to come back all of a sudden. So he wanted to like hang out with me, like, and catch up for a bit. So we went to this place called Round One Bowling and Arcade. And there's a couple like around the place, but there's like one nearby in Greensboro.
Yeah.
And like the place is huge. It was like in the mall, or what's left of the mall, I should say.
Yeah.
But it's like the old like Sears or something, like one of the big department store bits of the mall.
Yeah.
Like completely refurbished into this ginormous arcade and bowling alley.
That's awesome. What a good
and
use
so
for a mall space.
they've got like 20 lanes or something of bowling, and then just hundreds of arcade machines. And like when we went, it was like midday. I took like a half day at work, and then like went over there, so it was like 1 o'clock when we got there.
Yeah.
They open at 10 in the morning and close at like 2 in the morning.
Oh wow.
But like when you're playing like on weekdays from like 10 to 4, you can pay like $12 and have unlimited bowling.
Oh my
So
god.
we ended up bowling like 8 games.
Wow.
In like the, I guess at that point in time, the 3 hours that we would have been there, from like 1 to 4 or something like that.
Wow.
But with all the arcades, like they have like the little swiper card, so it's like you want, I want $20 or something on it, and so it like gets you the credits, and then you can swipe them into the machines, and it just takes your credits or whatever, and then saves like the tickets as well. Like if you do that on your card, so you can like build up your tickets.
Yeah. It's a Dave & Buster's situation.
Yeah, but they also at that point in time have like you can pay $15 to play unlimited arcade games for like 90 minutes, or like there's like varying time hours and stuff like that. Now the unlimited plays don't let you play the games that have like you win tickets. But you can pretty much play any of the racing games, any of the shooters, any of the like stick fighters, or any of their rhythm games, or like the pinball machines, like all that stuff is like just have at it.
That's so cool.
And it was amazing.
That's awesome. I love that. I wish, like, Fun Spot is like they tote themselves as the world's largest arcade. And it's about, I don't know, 20-30 minutes from here. But I really don't, like, I just can't see how it could be. Like, maybe he's got the world's largest independent collection or something. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would that be in New Hampshire? If you've got that to boast, go somewhere where there's actually a market for it.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. They have like a giant Space Invaders. And by giant, I mean it's literally like the entire wall, so it's like 15 feet tall by like 30 feet wide.
Oh, I love that.
And you can play like 8-player Space Invaders or something like that.
That's rad.
And then they have like other things like there's like a
Hey,
full bar
Greg,
there.
what's up?
Hello. There's like a full bar there. They've got like karaoke rooms. There's like ping pong and other things. It was a very fun experience.
Hold on, we have something for Greg. I think. Do I have it? I do. Hi, Greg. Oh, what have I done? Oh. Okay, everything's fine. What's with this brush? Oh, this is weird. Ah, yes, that is also true. Maybe. At some point, Mike, we got to finish Sucker for Love.
That's the Cthulhu one?
Yeah.
We gotta play
Apparently
the new
someone
one.
at my wife's work found that episode.
Oh, good lord.
I was like, oh no, why that one?
That one in particular.
And Katie had to, like, do damage control. We also discovered this past week the school has inadvertently blocked part of my YouTube channel. So, like, none of our streams can be found on the school network. I'm like, why? You and I don't do anything harmful. Adam might have dropped an S-bomb every now and again. Yeah, it's real bad jumping on point, Greg. You're right. Come on in. We play Cthulhu dating simulators.
But yeah, that other new one looks like a lot of fun. I'm very excited about getting a chance to play that with you.
Yeah.
Link or whatever.
Yeah, so Candace gave us a copy of... it's called In Sync.
In Sync, that's the one.
Yep. Not to be confused with the 90s boy band of the same name. Or of a similar name.
Recently resurging popularity thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine. Right? I hate the fact that when, like, I have on my, like, in 90s stations or whatever, like, and that's, like, Bye 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 comes on, that it's, like, tagged as from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Song.
I'm like,
yeah.
no,
it's
not.
That is.
It was well before that. It just was used in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right. Take care, man. We'll talk to you soon. My steelbook for Deadpool and Wolverine should be here on Thursday. I'm excited to watch it again.
I was thoroughly pleased by that movie.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we've talked about this a bunch, but it's like, as much as I like really don't like Deadpool, like all three of those movies I've like really enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the second one very as much as the first and the third, but
I like the second one. Like, it's probably my favorite.
I don't like that Deadpool is just a walking meme at this point.
Yes, but they acknowledge that in the third one.
They do, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the self-aware nature. Like Ryan Reynolds understands that character. Possibly better than even Rob Liefeld himself. And like I don't want Ryan Reynolds to write that character in comics. I don't think he'd be good at that. And I think I get the sense that he is of the same mind. You know, like let Iman Vellani write Ms. Marvel. She is another person who just gets her character, you know, but she gets it in a different way. I think Ryan Reynolds understands how to bring that character or his character to Yeah, to the screen. Where Iman Vellani just understands her character full stop.
Which one's brighter? That one is.
Yeah, unfortunately, RPD, I don't have access to Katie's coworkers. So they're kind of on their own. And as far as my wife is concerned, like, she doesn't know what we play on stream. Because it's not interesting to her. You know, I've explained the concept of a Metroidvania, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, she has no, like, perspective there.
Much less a dating sim.
Right. Oh, good lord. Welcome to RPD's TED Talk. RPD, what was the defunct land you sent me this morning? I was at the Comic-Con and couldn't really closely look at it. Is it an actual defunct land or is it just like a collab or something? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I was like, wait, this isn't on Kevin's channel. Like, and then I saw that it was Mega 64. I was like, Oh, nice. Okay, I'll have to check that out. So I thought it was like a DashCon thing, a DashCon spoof. Or, like, expose. Oh my god.
What's up?
Oh, just reacting to RPG. Shift.
Nope, not gonna do that.
Don't do color shift?
No. Sorry, I was talking to myself. I was about to try and do something, and I need a finer detailed brush than what I was about to use.
Ah, you're good.
By all means, use your color shift.
Yeah. Well, I've got a gemstone to paint on her helmet, and I was like, this is screaming for color shift right now.
Yeah.
One that's literally just green. Green to green. That seems perfect. because she is not a Chaos Dwarf, I don't need to worry about Blood for the Blood God.
She's not a Chaos Dwarf. What kind of dwarf is she?
Hill Dwarf.
Hmm.
Just a regular mountain-dwelling hill dwarf. Hence the green color scheme as opposed to my normal red. I'm trying to artificially create goblin green here for the base. So far, not having too much luck.
No.
I think I got it. Nice. Then I gotta get our shield in place, which is gonna be a pain. But might as well solve one problem at a time here. So look. Oh look, Gotham City Chronicles problems.
What's wrong?
It won't stick. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Yeah. Just needs 2 coats, that's all. Pony glue around? Yes, I do. Let this dry before I try to do a second coat on it. But here we are. I'm impatient. Alright, I guess I could flip this over and do the brown of the wood on the back side of the shield. Did you see Spirit Halloween is going to do a Spirit Christmas now?
I did not see that. That's crazy.
I mean, I guess I see it, but like, what is... I don't know, it just seems a little illogical. Like, Halloween, everybody needs something. Christmas... What are you going to sell, Die Hard merch?
Christmas trees.
Right? So now you're competing with Home Depot? Like... Yes, the building devouring will now go at double speed.
So I'm less practiced at this, but I was trying to do like really targeted Nuln Oil application versus the kind of the general coat, because I don't want to get too much, like I don't want to darken this up too much, because I'm gonna try and make it super pristine white. I just want to make sure like in like the creases that you have like really stark dark line. Yeah, like what I did with Kingpin. For his face here, I'm probably going to be a little bit more liberal with the application of like the Drakenhof Nightshade, but
you're gonna use Nightshade.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, he's got blue skin, so I'm going to darken that up. So,
what I need. This is a bit of an odd tool, but sorry, find it.
A mystery tool that'll be good, useful later.
Theoretically. Still looking for my tweezers. I can hold this shield a little bit easier. I can't seem to find. There's my ruler. I'm looking for that. Is this tweezers? No. You tweezers. No, but you might work. Actually, that might work.
What's wrong?
I've just unrolled like half a roll of solder.
That's not good.
No. You tweezers? You are tweezers. Found it. Of course, I made a mess in the process, but that's fun. Let's go. I don't want this one either. It'd be really nice if I could stop grabbing the wrong thing. Huh, better. Boy, if I had $1 for every stupid dwarf shield I've painted. I have quite a few dollars.
Mm-hmm. I'd have $2. Which isn't much, but it's a little weird that it keeps happening, or it's happened twice.
Yeah.
So his hair, I'm still using Nuln Oil on. Even though for his face I used the Drake and Shade. Because his hair's like a really, 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 really dark blue.
Right.
So I used like the darkest blue I had. And I'm just going to add the black wash to it to try and darken it up a little bit more.
That seems sensible enough.
Versus like the rest of his skin.
Right. I haven't decided what I want to paint on the surface of her shield yet. I would like to do, however, let's get some Agrax Earth Shade on this. It's almost hockey time, man.
I know.
This preseason's been all over the place. Agrax, do your thing. In the meantime, let's see if we can get another coat of green down. Do you see the latest garbage out of the music industry?
No, what happened?
So, I believe a few months ago, the Taylor Swift fans got after Dave Grohl for making a joke, because apparently they're all children and can't take a joke. And in the light of his little scandal, they were like, "Oh, this serves you right for making fun of what is effectively their queen."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, good God. This has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Grow up. People just drive me nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Oh, there it is. Alright, well, aside from drying, that's Queen Helgar. So I can get something light behind her so the color shows up a little better. What do I have? Problem with reconstructing my workspace. There she is. I'm pretty gosh darn happy with this model.
That's good. It's always good when things turn out good for after hard work.
Yeah, exactly. Let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now you can see. as I abuse the fact that I'm on stream to take a screenshot. Post it to Discord. And then we'll figure out what we're doing next here. All right. What am I doing next? Got half an hour left on the stream. I don't really want to start a whole new mini, so you know what? I've got this goblin green. I should deal with
More
this.
goblins?
I've got hobgoblins up here on the workspace that need green. So let's do that. And all right. And the method here, the madness in the method, is to take a reasonably sized brush, which I have precious few left in this bottle. Take it over the brown.
Ow.
What'd you do?
Bonked my head.
Well, why'd you do that?
I didn't mean to. I was just leaning in too much and then like hit my camera with my headset.
Yeah, like I haven't done that a zillion times.
What's up?
I don't know. It's not exactly what I expected, but it's not a problem. Oh dear. That was a problem. A smaller brush. That's the one. One of the things that drew me to Chaos Dwarfs in the first place was I always wanted to paint goblins because the green skin, and with the Chaos Dwarfs I get to do that.
Yeah.
There was even a brief time before they brought the Chaos Dwarfs back that I was like, man, I should buy orcs. Orcs and
Paint green skin?
Just so I can paint green skin. And of course, you know, that was the time where I had nigh infinite store credit and I could just buy whatever. So in theory, somewhere in the back closet behind me, I do have a box of orcs that's unpainted. Everybody was like, oh, you should just play 40k and you can play orcs. I was like, I don't want space orcs.
You want fantasy orcs?
Well, it's rare. You and I have had this conversation too. Like, I don't... Like, I'm much more of a sci-fi person, literature-wise. But when it comes to gaming, like wargaming, I prefer fantasy. When it comes to, like, video games, I prefer sci-fi. But, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But I always had this idea that I could paint goblins brown, then hit them with the green over the top of that, and it would make them look almost sickly. Which is what I do for hobgoblins. Canonically, I think they're supposed to have a brighter orange, or brighter green rather, than their regular counterparts. But I respectfully disagree with that.
Hobgoblin should be orange. Goblin should be green.
Okay, Norman. Stormin' Norman. And I sit here going, why must these things be in competition with each other as I use my inflated sense of scale of time to go through 5 tables worth of stuff? Yeah. No, I mean, like, it not... Maybe I'm not articulating myself properly, RPD. Like, it's just personal preference. Like, I find that fantasy just doesn't, in general, do it for me. And if anything, I blame Kevin Smith. His simplification of Lord of the Rings in Clerks 2 is legendary in my mind. Every time I want to go watch Lord of the Rings, I just stare at the DVD cover or Blu-ray cover for... my record is an hour. I stared at it for an hour and then put it back and watched Empire.
What was the from that?
Huh?
What was the like what made you do that?
Clerks 2.
Yeah, what was the mention from that?
In Clerks 2, Randall simplifies the Lord of the Rings trilogy to a point where it's basically just negligible.
Mm-hmm.
And he is 1,000% correct if out of line. He's 1,000% correct, but also 1,000% out of line. And then he says, I made fun of Lord of the Rings so hard it made 2 super geeks puke. Where do we keep the mop and bucket so I can make Elias clean it up? In the closet with the other cleaning supplies. We have cleaning supplies? There. Boys.
Much better. I was a little worried. I was trying to do the highlights for his skin, and I went way too light.
Oh, dang.
But then I just kind of went over with just a really light but slightly darker, and I salvaged it.
Yeah, good. I settled on a tankard on her shield.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. And I've already said about ruining. And thank goodness for paint markers. That just made my life a lot easier.
I should invest in some of those.
I went to Walmart. I just found these ones. They are just Painter's brand. And they are pretty rad. Like, you have to look for the ones that say ultrafine on them. For what I need them to do here. But they work pretty well. That's how I do like custom Game Boy shells and stuff. They're a little bit faster than doing it by hand. In most cases, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could certainly. The question is, do I want to do the dwarfs at the same time? And the crowns is probably yes. Meaning that I have to do the dwarfs flesh. Not all that hard, just time consuming.
Nope. About dropped the mini.
Whoops. Chaos Dwarfs, in addition to having giant hats, also have really, really, really big noses.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of hilarious. Oh, golly. I mean, they're bordering on beaks. Batch painting. Batch painting is a batch. I briefly considered painting these guys' hands flesh because they're stupid. Like they're dumb enough to hold blunderbusses without gloves. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm giving them gloves. All right. The Chaos Dwarfs have flesh. Now, the question is, can I get a certain rune drawn on this shield without ruining it? Answer, probably not, knowing me. But we're going to give it a try. Let's not accidentally spill that. There's my tweezers. Almost did it. First try. A little bit of cleaning up and we're out of it. Or I can completely screw it up. There. Now let's see if I can glue that onto the menu without ruining it. What's this one? You know what? Try something first. Time for the pony glue. I can manipulate brushes. Thing I don't do very often.
What's that?
Textured basing. That's not just painted on. But because she is meant to match with all my other dwarfs, which do have block bases. Because old hammer. I'm going to go ahead and dip her in my bag of block that's been sitting around since I was a mere teenager. Yes, indeed, this is the very same bag of flock that I started out with. It was one of the very first things I ever bought for Warhammer. I'm going to do this kind of off camera because
This is probably the best job I've ever done with white.
Yeah?
Yep, I think so.
Nice. Add a little bit more front here.
Well, it's already after midnight.
Yes, it is. We started late though, so we're at 2 hours right now. I'm just trying to finish this one up.
I was about to say I need to just slap some gray on the base and I'll be done as well.
Let's see if I can move the shield on real quick.
This is also probably the fastest I've ever completed a mini, considering
Yeah.
I opened the box at 8:30.
Right.
And then had it assembled and primed and ready to paint for tonight and finished it on stream.
There is Queen Helgar. I'm pretty happy with that.
And
I've got pony glue all over my arm. Lovely.
pony glue, how's that different than normal glue?
It's not. Pony glue is technically My Little Pony glitter glue, but
Ah. And here is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
look at us completing things today. I made a little progress on Chaos Dwarfs.
That's the way he should be looking.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's get this. There they are. In stark contrast, lower it down just a little bit. Down. No, like vertically. There you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, I think that's where we call it for the night. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, for watching Paint Dry. We should be back next week. I can't imagine it wouldn't be the case. I think I will be starting in on Shang-Chi, something a little different. But we'll see. I might continue on with these Chaos Dwarfs. They've been staring me in the face for quite a long time, and batch painting is rather mindless. I also have these ridiculous war machines that I still need to paint, that I keep just shoving off to the side because I don't want to do it. But we'll see. Anyway, I will be back. I should be back on Monday for more Ghost Song. Pushing up on the end of that game. Loving it to pieces. Anyway, so in the meantime, be safe, be well, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
See ya.